We're just learning about this. President Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, said in a meeting with Senate Democrat Richard Blumenthal that the president's controversial comments on the judiciary are, quote, demoralizing and disheartening. This development comes as President Trump is once again criticizing the American judicial system as he awaits a decision on his embattled travel ban in court. The president is also changing his tune when it comes to the urgency of that travel ban, insisting he has always wanted to take his time implementing the restrictions that he was proposing, but that is not what the president was saying last week. President Trump is making his case to the court of public opinion, thundering that if there's a terrorist attack, the judges holding up his executive order imposing a travel ban on 7 majority Muslim nations will be to blame.
So I think it's sad. I think it's a sad day. I think our security is at risk today. I listened to a bunch of stuff last night on television that was disgraceful. But courts seem to be so political. And it would be so great for our justice system if they would be able to read a statement and do what's right.
The president warns the legal delay could have consequences, tweeting, "Big increase in traffic into our country from certain areas, while our people are far more vulnerable." But the president didn't offer any proof of his claims.
A bad high school student would understand this. Anybody would understand this.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
In what seemed like a response to the images of chaos and confusion at the nation's airports, the president also tried to argue he never wanted his travel ban implemented immediately.
I said, let's give a 1-month notice. But the law enforcement people said to me, oh, you can't give a notice. Because if you give a notice, you're going to be really tough in 1 month from now or in 1 week from now. I suggested a month, then I said, well, what about a week? They said, no, you can't do that because then people are going to pour in before the toughness goes on.
But the president never mentioned his desire to wait until today. More than a week ago, he tweeted, if the ban were announced with a 1-week notice, the bad would rush into our country during that week. A lot of bad dudes out there. A sentiment echoed by Press Secretary Sean Spicer.
We don't know when the next bomb's going to go off. And the last thing that you want to do is to say, well, we could have done this Saturday, but we waited one more day, or we wanted to roll it out differently.
Democrats contend the White House is missing the point.
None of the terrorist attacks that have occurred in the United States since 9/11 have been undertaken by refugees or immigrants from the 7 countries that are named in the executive order.
The president maintains he's right about the terror threat because of the intelligence he's receiving as commander-in-chief.
A tremendous threat, far greater than people in our country understand. Believe me, I've learned a lot in the last 2 weeks, and terrorism is a far greater threat than the people of our country understand.
But shortly after the scheduled start of his daily intelligence briefing at 10:30 a.m., the president was tweeting that his daughter Ivanka had been treated unfairly by Nordstrom. The White House says Mr. Trump was free at the time the tweet was posted. The department store recently decided to stop selling Ivanka Trump's products, citing the brand's performance, drawing this ferocious response from the White House.
I think this was less about his family's business and an attack on his daughter. And for someone to take out their concern with his policies on a family member of his is not acceptable.